Hi, Val. Glad to see you with me today.
Hi, Carol.
This is another of our interviews with Val Wilkinson, genealogist from New South Wales. And today's walkthrough and revelation will be about the Biographical Database of Australia. So, Val, tell me about the BDA, please.
The Biographical Database of Australia is really a database trying to hook together all the different records and archives that there are with people and all the information, and trying to put them together as each person and in family groups. And sometimes it's been difficult looking yourself because there's variations in spelling of surnames and that type of thing. And this is one way they're just trying to bring it all together so that you can have a look at all the resources that you can then go and check out.
That sounds marvellous, because quite often we do need to have one spot to go to rather than several, because we're all time poor. And I'm wondering if you could share with us the process first of getting to the BDA, and then we can delve into it.
Certainly. Just share the screen. And
yep, I can see the www.bda.online.org.au.
Yeah, so that's actually a dash, bda-online.org.au.
All righty, you might make your screen a little bigger perhaps.
I will. I'll just enlarge it a little bit for you all.
That's great.
Okay. So we can just go to the home page, which is what we're looking at the moment. You can search the indexes for free. Yep. And that just then gives you, well, we'll just search.
Okay.
And I can show you.
That's the best way, yes. Right. So who's William?
William Wilkinson. Yep. And we'll search now. And it comes up with all the William Wilkinsons that have been recorded in various documents. So there might be some that are the ones that you're looking for and some that aren't. There's quite a few who came as convicts, and there are quite a few down here who came as free passengers. And it always lists the ship that they've come on, and it's up to you to figure out which one might be yours.
Wow, this is so cool. So going back to your guy, he's a convict, and it actually says that in brackets.
It says it in brackets. It says whether they're a convict, a free settler, free passenger, or whether they came on the military. That's another thing. So if I clicked on William Wilkinson, it's going to tell me that I have to either sign in or subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
It's free to search the indexes, but to actually then have a look at the documents or the listings, you do need to take out a subscription. It's very, very minor. It's $33 for a whole year. It's not much more than going out for lunch.
Yeah, that's very doable.
And it's very doable. And this is a privately run, not-for-profit website, so that you don't have lots of advertisements trying to sell you odd things coming up in the middle of your search.
Good.
So once you've taken out a subscription or signed in, I will just sign in because I do actually have a subscription.
Mm-hmm.
And it now gives me a report for William Wilkinson, who came out on the Batavia in 1818.
Wow,
so it's got
a lot of information.
All transcribed there from the convict indent, colonial secretary's papers, the trial, census. And if you're not sure what you're looking at over here, this is the 1822 census and general muster. You can click on that about, and it tells you what it is, where to find it, the National Archives reference in England, that reference, and various other things. So
I see that one's edited by Carol Baxter.
Carol Baxter, yes. She worked for the original Australian Biographical and Genealogical Register way back in 1983 or something when it started off.
Mm.
So that tells you there's colonial secretaries' papers, there's all sorts of things. And this is one way that you can then just bring it all together and have a look.
I noticed there you could print it.
Yes, you can indeed. You can download it as a PDF and go from there. So, Carol, do you have anyone that you'd be interested in?
I do. I did some research, about 2 years ago as part of my studies, and I was looking for Peter John Mcguire.
Okay, well, let's just put in...
Mcguire is MC capital G-U-I-R-E.
Okay, well, it's pretty forgiving.
Yeah, okay. And
Peter. We'll just try Peter. Even though he had a second name, we'll leave that out. It might confuse the issue.
And main and supplementary? What does that mean?
Well, there's a main index and a supplementary index, but I always search both because you're never quite sure what you're going to get.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So we've got quite a few Peter Mcguires. We've got someone who arrived in 1801 on the Canada as a convict.
No, that's not him.
We've got one here, Peter Mcguire, and
that's the second one.
Peter and Catherine on the
Glashen. Yep, that's
okay.
what I researched.
All right. So according to that, there are 12 entries for him.
Mm.
So we'll click on that and see what shows up.
Brilliant.
So it's showing up here, the convict indent, which is transcribed here that he had a sentence of 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
And he arrived on the Glashen at Sydney.
Yep, that's him.
Also, this is a bit interesting, arrived in 1803. We've got a Mary Ann Mcguire who arrived, this is a bit on the Glashen in March, and then she went to Tasmania on the King George in October 1806.
Mm-hmm.
So this is all quite interesting information. The father's Peter Mcguire and the mother's Catherine Lennon.
Yep, those names are familiar.
Okay, but over here it's telling us that the source of that information is the Tasmanian Database created by Gary Wilson.
Ooh, what's that about?
And then it says, upon his death on the 3rd of July 2013, it passed to BDA. So that's something that you could follow up to try and see what that database was about.
Glad he did.
And there's another one here, a bit more about a Peter Mcguire.
Yeah.
Again, and in 1805, we seem to have that Peter Mcguire, interestingly spelt Magwire, was on a boat's crew at Norfolk Island. So that's certainly worth chasing up.
Yes.
And so on. He's in the 1806 census. And Catherine, who appears that she came free on the same ship as her husband came out.
Yes,
that's the convict, because this here you'll see Catherine Mcguire arrived per ship Glashen, arrival status was came free, and then ux of means wife of, it's the Latin. Wife of Peter Mcguire.
Okay.
So that's list all persons. So we can have a look, and so that's showing both of the things.
Excellent. Oh, this is a treasure trove of information. I wish I'd known about it.
Yeah, so there's lots of things here in 1811. Oh, was he tried again? No. That's just the census, the 1811 census of Tasmania and Van Diemen's Land and Norfolk Island. So that's just saying where he was in 1801 and so on, until we have some other things here, a form in 1990 to say that he died in Hobart in 1841, and that is biographical detail forms held by the Society of Australian Genealogists.
Mm.
So again, that gives you another source that you can just think, well, exactly what biographical data forms do they actually have?
Yes, indeed. But knowing, you know, that I can see the death date there is very helpful.
Yes, yes.
That's brilliant.
So there we are. So that is just a Peter Mcguire and all the things that they've been, all the Peter Mcguires that they've found. And there, as you can see, there are quite a few Peter Mcguires on the Guildford. There was one at Norfolk Island, Peter Mcguire. There was someone here in Maitland who came on the Ferguson as a convict. So this is one way that these indexes and the people working on this have been able to put together all the different people to one person, one individual.
Yeah. That makes it so much easier for us coming along later when we're doing our research or doing our studies at the Diploma of Family History and doing one on convicts. This is a gold field.
Oh, it's absolutely marvellous. So you can read all about what it actually is, how it came about, what is transcribed. So here you can see that it aims to gather data from government and private sources in the post-convict era in all Australian colonies as well. So ranging from early published biographical dictionaries, newspapers, letters, diaries, and so on. All these people, they're trying to pull it all together so that it's just in one go-to place to try and find it. And the only restriction there is, of course, that the biographical subject must be deceased.
Yep. Okay. No, that's brilliant.
So, yeah. Early Catholic and Protestant records have been transcribed and so on. If we go back,
a long history of coming together.
Indeed. And on the home page, I know in 2020, so last year, they were able to put up a lot more information, a lot more data sets.
Okay.
So there was baptisms from Goulburn and Wollongong, database from convicts, 18 Australians in the 1849 Californian Gold Rush. I mean, that's an interesting thing.
Very interesting, yes.
2,000 new 1830s soldier profiles, including Melbourne's first garrison in 1836. And it's really hard to find out who was in Melbourne in that very first and second year that it was settled.
Well, the volunteers have done an enormous lot of work, especially looking at that list.
So here we are, most Tasmanian colonists from 1803 to about 1827. The 1828 census, soldiers, it just goes on and on and on and on and on. There is so much there that you can...
It's a brilliant site.
Absolutely have a look at.
Database of Australia.
And as I said, for $33, which for a whole year, it's absolutely perfect way of finding more for yourself, but also supporting these people in what they're trying to do.
Well, guess what, Val? I think I'm going to go and have a look, do a little research for free, and probably spend my $33 very soon.
Excellent. Well, I'll just stop sharing. So there we are.
Thanks for that. That's really brilliant, especially knowing that I could search on a convict. I've got another one now in my mind that I did some research for. I can go there and have a look for him.
Well, it's good then you can check out how good was your research and thorough, and then compare that with what other documents that these people have been able to put together.
Exactly what I need to do, and probably something that many of our viewers would love to do also.
Yeah,
I'm very delighted in sharing this video with them as part of our essential habits for genealogists. Thanks, Val.
Excellent. Thank you, Carol.